And the second assignment, we can call the open book test. I think we can call it 14 day. 15 sessions allocated 14 days. Then all the open book test and presentation. 15 days. The second assignment.
So the presentation is like whatever is given in the test, we have to do it. Is it like group work?
Okay.
Okay.
Group presentation.
Okay. It's related to the questions that you're going.
Related to the topics.
Okay, the topics you will give earlier or on the day.
Already we have done. We have discussed.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of these topics, we can
Yeah.
presentation. Group presentation.
Okay. Okay. I'll note it.
So that is on 15. On 15th day. Right. So this is the who have the country. Who haven't done this. Any?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, for the question that
As the second assignment, as the second assignment, we can call open book test. On 14 day. Right? Now today's 11. Right. So on 14th day we can hold the open book test, and on 15th day you can have a group presentation. Thereafter we have. Right. Open book test, you can bring any, like the textbook, highlighted, notes, anything you can bring. Right, you can refer when you answer it to the questions, you can refer the notes available and answer. It will be the like the challenge. You can answer either in English by referring or without referring, how you can answer the question. Open book test. It's simple to be, it's not by heart. Right? Thereafter, presentation, group presentation. What we have I think over under cooperation, we have discussed 13 topics. Right? So out of these 13, you can select one topic and present. It's like two presentation. There are 13 actually. Cooperation, incorporation, articles of association, meetings, resolutions, right? If there are promoters, directors, secretaries, the name of the company. I think altogether there are 13. Okay, so you can select and one or two topics, and in 10 minutes time, you can have the subject. That is the subject. Right?
Okay, from 1% per annum.
Oh, you can try that. About the basic. The one has to perform the presentation. Right? We set up this works with the last year. Well, we do it now. 2 hours we have to answer the question, right? 2 hours. Right. Does it do it? Right now, this is our last topic, right? Those adjacent to operate, those related to operation. So under this topic, I think there are just 4 values we are considering. One is Foreign Exchange Act, right? Thereafter, restriction on alienation and alienation act. Right. Restriction on alienation act. Right. So land act. And restriction on alienation act. And then thereafter, Securities and Exchange Commission Act. Altogether 3 sections. Securities and Exchange Commission Act, yeah, that's real about the insider trading. Insider trading, right? Right. The first thing is, first statute is Foreign Exchange Act. Right, so according to the act, actually it has recognized who are the residents of Sri Lanka. Like you can go to this, right? And actually here, the important thing is there are 2 types of transactions we can identify. That is foreign exchange, inward investment and outward investment. Inward investment means, right, non-residents of Sri Lanka investing in shares incorporated in Sri Lanka. Right, foreigners, or we can say foreigners, right, or residents outside Sri Lanka, or non-residents, they are investing in the shares, right, investing in the shares incorporated in Sri Lanka, right, investing in shares of a company incorporated in Sri Lanka. This is true, right? The company is incorporated in Sri Lanka, it is under section under Companies Act number 7 of 2007. Companies incorporated in Sri Lanka, right? Residents outside Sri Lanka investing in shares of the company incorporated in Sri Lanka. That is named as inward investment. Right, inward investment. Right, that is inflow. Right, money comes to Sri Lanka. Inflow. And the second transaction is outward investment. That is, right, Sri Lankan residents, they expand their business abroad. They can invest, right, in shares of the foreign company. Right, so there is outward investment, but then outward. There are some restrictions introduced by the Foreign Exchange Act. Right, under this act, there are some restrictions with regard to the inward investment and outward investment. These are the restrictions, right? Exclusions. Right, so here we can identify industries. There are several industries recognized. One is pawnbroking, right, and retail trade, another industry, and coastal fishing, another industry. Right. So in these industries, right, they cannot invest, right, money in the shares of a company which are carrying out business in these industries. Right? Now, suppose if a company is incorporated for carrying out business under coastal fishing, right? Foreigners cannot invest in the shares of the company. There's a restriction, 100% restriction, right? Exclusion. Cannot invest in shares of following companies. They cannot invest, right? Then there's another, indeed, according to this table, the second column, it says foreign investment shall be restricted only up to 40% of the stated capital. So only up to 40% they can invest. Right? Non-resident Sri Lanka, they can invest only up to 40% of stated capital of the companies carrying on business for these. Right? Production of goods via Sri Lanka. Right? So these are the industries, the companies for production of goods via Sri Lanka's exports are subject to internationally determined quota restrictions. Right? Moving then, primary processing of tea, rubber, coconut, cocoa, right, rice, sugar, and spices. So these are the right businesses, right? Businesses, companies carried on businesses for these. Foreigners can invest only up to 40% of the stated capital, right? And the third column, it says, right, foreigners can invest only up to the percentage permitted by the government. That percentage is not mentioned here, right? Right, foreign investment in shares is permitted only up to the percentage of the state. So percentage of the stated capital of the company approved by the government. That particular specific percentage is not mentioned under the third column. Right. So this percentage can be decided by the government. Then only up to that percentage of the stated capital they can invest in the shares of the companies carrying for, right, carrying on business for these air transportation, right, coastal shipping, coastal shipping. This one is coastal fishing, right? Coastal fishing. They cannot invest, right, in shares of the company which is carrying on business for coastal fishing. But here they can invest only up to the percentage approved by the government. Coastal shipping, fishing and shipping, right? Two different, right, industries. Then large scale mechanized mining of gems, only up to the percentage approved by the government and not. So these are the industries or businesses that we can identify. Right. So these are the restrictions imposed, right, with regard to the inward investment. Inward investment, right? So foreigners invest in the shares of the company incorporated in Sri Lanka. Right? Inward investment. Then thereafter, we can consider the outward investment. Another table given. Outward investment. Right? That is expanding the business of the company in abroad. Right? Residents of Sri Lanka expanding their business in abroad. That is outward investment. Right? So here, I think very easy to understand, right? So when we consider the column 1, the first one, it says a company listed in the Colombo stock exchange. That is listed company. It is a listed company. And second one, right? But on the first column, second row, it says the company not listed, unlisted company. Listed, unlisted. And the third row, it says partnership, registered in Sri Lanka. And the fifth row, it says about the individual persons, right? And the last one, it says a company or a partnership, right? A company or a partnership, right? Then, so actually, now we have to consider the last one after this, after first four, right? Otherwise, we cannot understand, right? The company or partnership, this is regarding setting up overseas office, right? For that, they can invest this much of money. Receive now, right? Setting up overseas office. But here, if we consider the second column, right? It is very clear, right? The type of investments, right? So here, Sri Lankan residents, so these, right? Listed company, unlisted company, or a partnership, or an individual invest in shares of the company. Invest in the shares of the foreign company, right? So that limitations are given under the third column. Right now we can consider, right? Like if it is a listed company, right? Listed company, they can invest in the shares, units, sovereignties and sovereign bonds, right? Up to 2 million, yes, 2 million US dollars, right? Only up to 2 million US per year, per calendar year. That is the limitation, right? They cannot exceed this amount, right? And when we consider if it is a listed company, unlisted company, they can invest in the shares of the foreign company only up to 500,000 US dollars. All the figures are given in US dollars, not rupees, right? First one with regard to suppose listed company. Listed company is going to invest in the shares of a foreign company. Invest in the shares of a foreign company. What is the limitation? Right? Only up to 2 million US dollars per calendar. That is the limitation. They cannot exceed the limitation. If it is unlisted company, they can invest in the shares only up to 500,000 US dollars. Again, per calendar year. Right? A partnership. Right? A partnership registered in Sri Lanka, they can invest in the shares of a foreign company only up to 300,000 US dollars. Right? But here we can identify another very important difference, that is whole lifetime, right? Not per calendar year, right? This investment is for life. For life, they can invest only up to 300,000 US dollars. That is with regard to the partnership. And the last one, an individual. Actually, here the individual means, right? Natural persons. Right? Natural persons, they can invest in shares of the foreign company, right? Only up to 200,000 US dollars again for life. For lifetime. Only up to 200,000 US dollars. That is investing in the shares of the foreign company. Then thereafter, the last, right? Last row, it is with regard to setting up overseas office. Setting up overseas office. Then if it is a company means listed or unlisted, both are included. If it is a company or a partnership, but individuals are removed. Individuals cannot set up overseas office, right? So a company or a partnership, company means listed or unlisted company. right? Or a partnership, right? They can invest for setting up overseas office only up to 300,000 US dollars, right? Per calendar year. That is the restriction, right? So they cannot exceed this limit. Right? So these are the inward and outward, right, restrictions imposed by the Foreign Exchange Act. Right? According to these two tables, we can identify what is the inward limit. In some industries, foreigners cannot invest in the shares. Right? In some industries, they can invest only up to 40% of the stated capital. In some industries, they can invest only up to the percentage approved by the government. Right? So, what are the industries we can, right, recognize according to the first table? And outward investment, that is Sri Lankan resident expand their business abroad, then it is categorized into basically four columns, four rows, right? Three columns and four rows. First one is with regard to the listed company, unlisted company, partnerships and individual. Partnerships and individual, they can invest, right? 3,000. So 300,000 US dollars and 200,000 US dollars for lifetime. Right? But when we consider the listed company, they can invest only up to 2 billion US dollars per calendar year. Right? So these figures are given per calendar year. An unlisted company, they can invest only up to 500,000 US dollars per calendar year. And for setting up foreign office, only companies and partnerships are permitted to invest money. Right? If it is a company or a partnership, they can invest, right? For setting up overseas office up to 300,000 US dollars per calendar year, but also per calendar year. Right, so these are the restrictions. These are the then land restriction on alienation. Right? Another very important land. Again, what do you mean by alienation? Alienation, alien, right? Outstep. So here, there's a restriction imposed on land, right? Restriction imposed on land, right? Now, according to this land act, land restriction on alienation act, it says three groups recognized, right? They cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. They cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. Hold land means they cannot purchase. That is the meaning. They cannot purchase land in Sri Lanka. Right? Who are they? Foreign nationals. Foreign nationals, they cannot purchase land in Sri Lanka. And foreign companies. What do you mean by foreign company? Yes. What is the meaning of foreign company? We have discussed on the types of companies. We have discussed foreign company. Or it is named as overseas companies. Right? Overseas company. How we can define the overseas company? Foreign nationals. And second one is overseas companies. So foreign companies. The foreign company can kill. Yes. Where it is incorporated. Incorporated outside, incorporated abroad, doing their business in Sri Lanka. They cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. They cannot purchase, right? And Sri Lankan company, right? It is the company is incorporated in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan company right? With 50% or more foreign shareholding, right? They cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. Company incorporated in Sri Lanka, but foreign shareholding is 50 or more than 50. Right? 50 or more than 50. If it is less than 50, foreign shareholding can hold. Right? Can hold. So if the foreign shareholding is 50 or more than 50, even 50 they cannot hold. 50 or more than 50, they cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. Hold means purchase. Purchase land. They cannot be the owner. Right? These parties cannot be the owner. Right? Owners of the land. They cannot purchase. Right? However, then how they can do their business in Sri Lanka? Foreign nationals, foreign companies, how they, and Sri Lankan company holding more than 50% of foreign shareholding, how they can doing their business in Sri Lanka without holding lands. They can lease. They can lease land only up to 99 years. Understood? They can lease land up to 99 years. Like අවුරුදු 99කට බද්දට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? They can lease the land. But they cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. Right? So that is the restriction imposed by this Land Restriction on Alienation Act. Right? Then understood that. Right? Now according to the Land Restriction on Alienation Act, three types of persons recognized, they cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. Foreign nationals, right? Foreign companies, Sri Lankan company, right? With foreign shareholding 50 or more than 50. Right? Sri Lankan company with foreign shareholding 50 or more than 50. They cannot hold land, but they can lease land up to 99 years. Up to 99 years. Right? Then there's another important provision mentioned in the Land Restriction on Alienation Act. That is now suppose now according to that restriction, right? When we are considering the restrictions, we can say, right? If the foreign shareholding of the company, foreign shareholding of the Sri Lankan company is less than 50, right? Less than 50, then they can hold land in Sri Lanka. Right? Sri Lankan company with less than 50% of foreign shareholding. Understood? Because according to the restriction, Sri Lankan company with 50% or more than 50% of foreign shareholding, they cannot hold land in Sri Lanka. It means if the foreign shareholding is less than 50, they can hold land in Sri Lanka. They can hold. Understood? Right. But there's a duty cast on the secretary. Right? Secretary of that company, he has a duty. What is the duty? Right? He must inform the registrar of lands. Now we have discussed throughout our discussion registrar of companies. Registrar of ROC. But here, registrar of lands. Registrar of lands. Secretary must inform the registrar of lands, right? In every 6 months' time, stating, right? In writing, he must inform, right? Stating the foreign shareholding of the company is less than 50. Right? It to be given to the information to be given to the registrar of lands. That is the requirement. Right? So that duty cast on who? Duty cast on the second. Right? He must inform the registrar of land in every 6 months' time, right? Stating that the foreign shareholding of the company is less than 50. Less than 50. Actually, right? Less than 50. This requirement, right, must remain for a period of 20 years. 20 years from the date of, right, transferring of the land for that particular company. Right now, suppose like this, right? can consider like this, right? Now, Sri Lankan company, Sri Lankan company. It means the company is incorporated in Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lankan company. Then foreign shareholding is less than 50. Less than 50. Less than 50. Right? When we consider the stated capital of the company, right? The foreign investment is less than 50. That is the meaning, right? Less than 50. Then, according to the Restriction on Alienation Act, they can own land. They can own land in Sri Lanka. Then on that privilege, suppose this company has purchased the land on right, 1st of January 2020. Right? This is the date of transaction. Right? Date of right purchase the land. So transaction was right made on 1st of January 2020. Right. So this access, right, less than 50%, foreign shareholding is less than 50%, must remain, right, minimum of 20 years. 20 years. 20 years. That is until the reserve component 1st of January 24, like 2014. Right? So less than 50, right, shall remain until 1st of January 2004. That is the requirement. Therefore, then how is a register of land, right? Be satisfied whether the foreign shareholding is less than or more than 50, according to the confirmation given by the secretary. Right? Therefore, right, in order to consider whether the foreign shareholding is less than 50, right, less than 50 or not, right, for a period of 20 years, right, not to get right that information, right, the requirement mentioned in the act, what is the requirement in every 6 months time, 6 months. In every 6 months time, secretary of this company must give the written confirmation to the register of land. Register of land. Right? By stating that the foreign shareholding is less than 50. Understand? Less than 50. So this is the way how register is satisfied. Right? That the foreign shareholding is less than 50. Otherwise, he unable to right, unable to consider this condition. Right? So, in order to fulfill that condition, in order to get that information, right, every 6 months time, registrar shall inform to the register of lands, stating the foreign shareholding is still less than 50. Less than 50. Right? Now, suppose after 2 years, right, that is prior to the 20 years, after 2 years, that is 2022, if the foreign shareholding reach to the 50 or more than 50, then what happens? Is the requirement less than 50 for 20 years? Then they can hold land. Right? Actually, there are 2 conditions involved in this section. Less than 20, less than 50%. Foreign shareholding is less than 50. Less than 50% for 20 years. Right? Less than 50 shall remain for 20 years. Then that company can purchase land. Company can hold land in Sri Lanka. 2 conditions in place. right? So in order to, right, identify whether the foreign shareholding is less than 50 or not, every 6 months time, secretary of this company shall give a written confirmation to the register of land stating foreign shareholding is less than 50. Right. Now my question is, after 2 years, if the foreign shareholding increase up to 50%, then what happens? What happens to the this transaction? Yes. Now I told you the company can purchase a land, right? The company can hold land in Sri Lanka, right? So under that privilege, suppose on 1st of January, the company has purchased a block of land, right? Then after 2 years, foreign shareholding increase up to 50%. Right? This is the date of transfer. Transfer of the land and to the company. Right? 1st of January 2020. Company has purchased a block of land. Right? So transfer deed is signed on 1st of January 2020. After two months, foreign shareholding increased up to 50%. Right? Then what may be happened to this transaction, right? Right? Prior to the 20 years, if the foreign shareholding increase up to 50 or more than 50, then thereafter this transaction, transfer deed, when we transfer deed, we have to prepare deeds, right? In regard to movable properties, we have to prepare a deed. Therefore, here, in order to purchase the land, block of land, company must, right? Company must execute a deed of transfer. That is the, right? That is the transaction, deed of transfer. By way of a deed of transfer, company has to purchase the land. Deed of transfer, right? Deed of transfer, dated 1st of January 2020. Then after 2 years, foreign shareholding increase up to 50%. Then actually what happened to this deed of transfer? It is automatically cancelled. It is automatically cancelled. That is the legal effect. Right? If the company unable to maintain less than 50% for 20 years. Right? For a minimum period of 20 years, company must maintain the condition that is foreign shareholding is less than 50%. Less than 50%. Understand? So after 20 years, if the foreign shareholding increase up to 50%, then what happens? After 20 years, then it is not being validated the transaction. It's not affected to the transaction. And so once the foreign shareholding during this period, within 20 years, if the foreign shareholding increase up to 50%, that transfer deed is automatically, transaction is automatically cancelled. Transfer deed is cancelled.
Then the land,
It belongs to the government.
they will stay.
Yes.
Or they have to go. Company.
Yeah. Company is not the owner. It belongs to the land. Right? For the public trustee, it will be the owner of the land. So this transaction is automatically cancelled. We need not to cancel. We need not to do anything. Automatically it is cancelled and owned by the government. On behalf of the government, public trustee. There's another question introduced as public trustee, right? He will be the owner. And based on state property. State property. Right? So the company is not the owner. Yeah. Right. Then, yes, I told you after 20 years, even though the foreign shareholding right increase up to 50%, it is not affected to the transfer deed, right? It does not invalidate the transfer. So the requirement is two conditions. foreign shareholding is less than 50 for a period of 20 years. How registrar can get this information? By getting written confirmation from the registrar, secretary of company. Right? Company secretary, right, must inform the registrar of companies, registrar of lands, right, in every 6 months time. Right? What is the percentage of foreign shareholding? Right? So that is the duty cost of the secretary of this company. Right? Secretary of the company must inform the registrar of lands in every 6 months time. Right? Measuring the foreign shareholding less than 50. By that day, the registrar of land can get the information. Right. So it is related to the company secretary as well as to the company. Then thereafter, we can consider the Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission Act. Like, secretary duty what is the duty cost of secretary under Land Restriction on Alienation Act? In every 6 months time, secretary of the company must give a written confirmation to registrar of lands stating foreign shareholding is less than 50. That is his right. Otherwise, the land registrar doesn't know what is the foreign shareholding. Every 6 months time, he must inform the registrar. Right. SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission Act, really important. Right. Now, under this act, right, a commission is introduced. Commission. A commission introduced in this act. This commission has, right, there are several powers given to this commission, but main 2 powers we can identify related to companies. Right? That is, this commission can give license to a body corporate. A license to a body corporate. Right? A license to a body corporate to act as a stock exchange. Act as the stock exchange. Right? So they have power to give license to a body corporate. Body corporate means incorporated one. Right? Body corporate means incorporated. Or actually, right? Established. Right? Or company can be considered as a body corporate. Or we can say actually, right? There are 2 types of persons recognized. Natural persons and legal person. Body corporate means legal person. Cannot give license to individuals, natural persons, right? Right? So body corporate means legal person. Legal person. Legal person. Right? To act as a stock exchange. Stock exchange. Right? Then under that authority, license is granted to a body corporate a company limited by guarantee, actually, it's a company limited by guarantee. That the name of the company is, right, name of the company is Colombo Stock Exchange. Colombo Stock Exchange. BSAA, Colombo Stock Exchange. It's a company limited by guarantee. Company limited by guarantee. It's a body corporate. So this commission has granted a license to this body corporate to act as the stock exchange in Sri Lanka. Right? Only one license granted. The company name is Colombo Stock Exchange. Then another authority given to the commission, that is they can grant license to individuals or persons, we can say persons, maybe a body corporate or natural person, any person, persons. To act as stock brokers, stock brokers. Stock brokers. Right? License can be granted to, right, a body corporate to act as the stock exchange. Then under that authority, license is granted to a company limited by guarantee. The company name is Colombo Stock Exchange. And this commission, right, can issue license to persons, natural or legal persons, right, to act as stock brokers. So under this authority, several, right, stock brokers are, right, introduced. Right, licenses are granted to several stock brokers. Right? So we can identify there are two parties. One is Colombo Stock Exchange, CSC, and stock brokers. Right? Stock brokers. Two parties we can recognize. Right. Then Colombo Stock Exchange. Right. Under the Colombo Stock Exchange, there's another company. Again, company limited by guarantee. Right. This is a fully owned subsidiary of Colombo Stock Exchange. Right. There is a fully owned subsidiary of Colombo Stock Exchange. It is named as the name of the company. It is named as CDS. CDS. Right? Central Depository System. That is the name of the company. Again, the company limited by guarantee. Is a 100% owned by Colombo Stock Exchange. Fully owned subsidiary. Right? Who is the owner? Right. Colombo Stock Exchange. Right. Colombo Stock Exchange fully owned by this company. CDS. Right. Then Colombo Stock Exchange, CDS. Right? Then thereafter, as I mentioned, stock brokers. Stock brokers. Colombo Stock Exchange, CDS, and stock brokers. Right? And general public. Public. Right. Now suppose A, a person called A, he wants to invest in the shares of listed companies. Then how we can invest money, right, in a listed company? Straight away can he invest money in the Colombo Stock Exchange? Then how we can invest money? It's how they can trade shares. buy and sell trade shares of the listed company. Yes. Yes. How we can trade? General public, how they can trade shares of the listed companies. Yes. Yes. Actually, all the transactions to be done through the stockbroker. Right. Through the stockbroker. Then he will inform me to CDS, then right through the CDS, he can transact or he can trade with the Colombo stock exchange. That's the thing. Right. So first thing is he must open an account with CDS. An account. This is the account with CDS. Through the broker, he must open an account with CDS. And first, he must open an account with CDS through a stock broker. So this is the first step. Right. Then thereafter, right, through the broker, he can purchase shares of the listed company. Then what happens after purchasing? Right? Suppose he has purchased shares. The value of the shares is 100,000. Right? So it is can consider by shares, right? Number of shares he has purchased 100 of shares, right? Then it is mentioned in his account. Then suppose if this person wants to sell the shares, 10 shares, then he can, through the broker, he can inform to CDS then, right? Then he can sell the shares, then it is removed from his account. Then balance is like, so likewise, the CDS will maintain an account with the investor. And so this is the way. Right. Then another option is given to this person, the investor, that is now generally this account is in electronic form, e-form. E-form. Electronic form. Right? So generally our bank accounts also in e-form, electronic form. Right? After inserting the debit card, then you can see electronic format. Right? It will display how much of money available in the account. It is an electronic form. Right? So here also say generally these accounts are maintained by the CDS in e-form. Right? Then this investor, he can ask share certificate. Share certificate. Right. Then what happens? Through the broker, he can inform into the CDS. Then CDS will inform to CSE, Colombo Stock Exchange. They will inform the relevant company, listed company. Then relevant company will issue certificate. That is paper certificate. Right? Or we can say hard copy. Hard copy of the shares owned by the shareholder. Right. Then what happens? This hard copy is given to A, investor, and electronic balances removed. That is like withdrawing of money. Now, according to the electronic format, after inserting debit card, right, machine says you have 100 rupees. Suppose you have withdraw 100 rupees. Then what happens? Electronic balance is zero. Right? But you have money. Money is hard money or cash. Right? You have cash. Right? So there is like hard copy, hard share certificate. Right? Or manual, or you can say yes, hard copy here. It's named as share certificate. Hard copy means share certificate. Share certificate is given to A, right? And cancel the electronic balances. Right. So according to the electronic balance is right, balance is zero. Right? All the shares converted into share certificate. Right? Now he has share certificate. Share certificate. Right? Hard copy. According to the share certificate, he's own 100 shares of a particular company. Right? So electronic balances and share certificate. Understood? There are two forms we can recognize. Right? Shares may be in electronic format or shares may be right in share certificate. That's hard copy. Now we can give right, two names, technical terms to these two transactions. Right now, the second transaction is now suppose A has share certificate, hard copy, share certificate. Then after some time he wants to trade these shares in this stock exchange. Then what happens? Through the broker, he must give it to CDS. Then CDS right, convert this share certificate into electronic balances. Electronic balances. Then thereafter he can trade. He can trade. Right? So there are two types of transactions we can identify. That is electronic balances converted into share certificate. There is one transaction. Then thereafter, share certificate can be converted into electronic balances. Understood? In order to trade the shares, after some time, if this investor wants to trade the shares, then he has to convert the share certificate, that's hard copy, into electronic balances. Then it is ready to trade in the secondary market, right? Otherwise, he cannot trade shares. First, we have converted to electronic balances, right? So, converting the share certificate into electronic balances, right? After purchasing, right? In the first instance, shares purchased by the investor, right? It is mentioned in electronic balances, right? Electronic form. It is in electronic form. And thereafter, he can ask share certificate. Then we probably cancel the electronic balances and share certificate is given to the investor. Then after some time he wants to trade the shares, then he has to right, convert the hard copy into electronic form. Electronic right, form. Then cancel the share certificate and right, converted the balances into electronic form. There are two types of transactions. Right? You can name these two transactions. One is this very famous question in paper, right? Materialization and dematerialization. What are the words given to you? Materialization. Materialization and dematerialization. Right? Materialization and dematerialization. What is materialization? Dematerialization. You can remember, right? Dematerialization. D means deposits. Deposits. Right? Materialization means withdrawal. Withdrawals. Right. Now tell me, what is the meaning of deposit? What is the meaning of withdrawal? First, we can consider the withdrawal. Materialization means withdrawals. Dematerialization means deposits. Start with D, deposit. No, I think patlogan diva. Because the family. Kamadava Apupa. Right? Materialization and dematerialization. Dematerialization means deposit. How you can explain that? Withdrawal withdrawal means you are going to withdraw money. That is, right? The ATM can withdraw that is withdrawal. Right? After inserting the debit card, you can withdraw money. That is electronic balances converted into cash. Electronic balances converted into cash. You can have a withdrawal, cash withdrawal. Right? Cash withdrawal, electronic balance remove. You have the cash. Right? Cash in your hand. Right? Electronic balances converted into cash. Deposit means money or cash, right? Through the machine, you can convert it into electronic balances. That is deposit. And the current quality is a machine hard copy converted into electronic. That you can identify in electronic form, right? Hard or cash converted into electronic balances. That is the deposit. Deposit करना के लिए क्या नहीं? Machine में क्या only क्या है? Like एक होता है कितना? What is the withdrawal? Withdrawal means right electronic, right? Electronic balances converted into share certificate. Don't say money, right? Here not money, right? Converted into share certificate. Share certificate is the hard copy. Electronic balances converted into share certificate. Right? That is withdrawal or materialization. Dematerialization means share certificate converted into electronic balances. That is the deposit, hard copy or cash, right? Deposit through an ATM, right? Then hard copy converted into electronic balances. Same here. Share certificate converted into electronic form. Right? That is dematerialization or deposits. We can say deposits and withdrawals. So these are the services given by the CDS to the investors. Right? Like dematerialization, materialization, and another service is granted to the investor. That is, this investor can nominate a nominee. Nominee. Right? Another service provided by the CDS. Investor can nominate a person as a nominee. Right? Why? Nomination can be given with regard to shares held by the investor. Yes. What happened? The nominee is appointed. Actually, not only to the shares, you can appoint nominees for savings account, life insurance, fixed deposits. But only with regard to current accounts, you cannot appoint a nominee. Right? Savings and current account, there are two types of accounts, right? For service accounts, you can appoint nominees. But for current accounts, right, you cannot appoint a nominee. Right? Fixed deposit, life insurance. For shares, you can appoint nominee. What happened after appointing a nominee? Yes? So they yes. Right now, A appointed or nominated B as his nominee. Right? So within his lifetime, he can change the nominee. He can appoint another person like C, he can appoint. Right now, A appointed B as his nominee. Then actually what happened? What is the effect of this? Right? Suppose the investor or the account holder dies. Right? Then who will be the owner of the property owned by this deceased person? Who are the owners? Automatically it is happened. legal heirs of the deceased person. Who are the legal heirs? Who are the legal heirs? Right? Spouse, remaining spouse and children. Suppose there are two children, then C1 and C2, they will become the legal representative. So heirs of the deceased person. They will own the property automatically. According to the inheritance, automatically they will receive the ownership. Right? They will be the owners of the money, shares, or whatever they like, life insurance, everything owned by these parties. However, and not only that, land and building also owned by these. Right? So all the assets owned by the deceased person at the time of his death, it is named as estate. Estate. අපි කියන්නේ භූදලේ කියලා estate. Right? Then, however, right, if the value of the estate is more than 4 million rupees, 4 million or 40, 4 million rupees, 4 million के लक्ष्य 4 million rupees, more than 50, more than 4 million rupees. Value of the assets is 4 million rupees, more than 4 million rupees. Then in order to share the estate among the heirs, they have to file an action in the court of law. Right? They have to file an action in court of law. Right? Without getting the order from the court, they cannot share the property. The value is more than 4 million rupees, 40 lakhs. Then they have to institute an action in the court of law. Right? So thereafter they have to publish 2 advertisements. Then anyone can oppose to this distribution of topics, distribution of the assets among the heirs. Right? So 2 advertisements to be published. So there's no procedure they have to follow. Right? So the value, only thing is we have to consider the value of the state is right 4 million rupees or more. They have to institute an action in the court of law. And after right considering all the evidence, then court will give an order in order to distribute the properties among the legal representatives. So without having order of the court, they cannot distribute. Because undivided shares owned by the legal heirs, right? The remaining spouse will own half of the total estate, and balance goes to the children, right? Very powerful. Therefore, partner owned by each. Suppose no children, husband die, remaining spouse is the wife, no children, then what happens? Who will own the balance portion? Or never time, who will own? Who is the owner? Who is the legal representative? Children are not children. They don't have children, then who is the next legal representative? Father and mother of the deceased person. Right? Balance portion goes to father and mother of the deceased person. Father and mother. Suppose mother died, only father is living. Then balance portion half share owned by the remaining parent. Remaining parent. Only parent. Father also died. Then who will receive the balance? On the other hand, how I can review. Who will receive the balance? brothers and sisters of the deceased person. In a low conductor. Brothers and sisters. They are the legal representatives. Therefore, very difficult, very complicated. Right? We are considering the testamentary action. These are named as testamentary action. It is very complicated. There are several legal representatives. These are not available. Right? So, living spouse own only one, like half of the total assets. And balance goes to children. Children not available, then father and mother of the deceased person. If father and mother also not available, then brothers and sisters. Very difficult situation. Right. Now there is the right situation of the testamentary action. It is very complicated. Now what happened if this person, while he is living, appoint the person as a nominee, then what happens? Right. Need not to consider the post order. Straight away, nominee, right, after death of this person, right, nominee will receive the ownership of the government. Right? He will be the owner of the shares. He will be the owner of the money in savings account or right, fixed deposit account. This fixed deposit, right, or the life insurance. He will be the beneficial part, right, after death of this part, all. Right, so need not to file an action with the court of law. Need not to file testamentary action with the court of law. So only thing is he must be right during his lifetime, he must be appointed nominee. Then once this person, the owner of the shares, dies, then automatically nominee will be the owner of the shares. Yeah, so right bank and all account, it will be the owner. Right, so it is very simple. But you cannot appoint nominee for the lands, only for these four. Right, the savings account, fixed deposit, life insurance, and shares. Right, current accounts you cannot appoint nominees. Right, land and building you cannot appoint. Right, you have to transfer the owners. I think can find them for the leaf transfer the you have to transfer the funds. If you got land and building, movable property. If not, then they have to file testamentary action with the court of the supply. So there is the very complicated situation. Right. So there is the other service provided by the CDS to the investors. They will provide this service to appoint nominees for the investors. Right? Then they can, without filing action in the court of law, after death of the owner of the share, automatically nominee will be the owner of the shares. Right? So that is the way. Right. Shall we mark the attendance? Yes.
I move on as a that's it.
అది చల్లిగా లేకపోతే పోవడం అంటారు.
These are the some of services provided by the CDS. Right? Dematerialization, materialization, nomination, appointing nominees. These are the some of the services. Then there are under Securities and Exchange Commission Act. There's another very important concept we have considered. That is insider dealings. Inside the tradings or dealings. That's it, right? Inside the deal. What do you mean by inside the dealings? Right. Sometime back, Sri Lanka person guilty of an offense under US laws for inside the deal. Found of the keys super. Rajaratnam or someone, his name is Rajaratnam. He is guilty of an offense of inside the deal in US. What do you mean by inside the deal? The keys like found of the keys super. What is the meaning of inside the dealings? Right. First, we have to consider who is an insider. An insider. Right? Then thereafter dealings or tradings we can consider. Right. So insider means now when we consider right the company, right? This company may have price sensitive information. Price sensitive information. Tell me, like examples for price sensitive information. Right, loss of profit. Right, the members of the board of directors. Price sensitive information. If the company is going to merge with another company, it's a price sensitive information. Company is going to merge with a reputed company, it's a price sensitive information. Right? So these information affected to the price of the shares of the company. Right? So therefore they are named as price sensitive information. Right? Now insider means price sensitive information can be published by the company. Can be published. Right? And in some cases we can identify price sensitive information is not published yet by the company. Therefore we can name it as non-published. non-published price sensitive information. It is not disclosed to the public. That is the meaning. Not disclosed to the public. Non-published price sensitive information. Right? Non-published price sensitive information. Profit and loss. Right? Members of the board of directors. Member is going to remove from the board of directors. New person will come into the board of directors. Company is going to merge with a reputed one. Right? So these are non-published price. These are price sensitive information. Right? If the information is not published to the public, then we can name it as non-published price sensitive information. Right? So insider means who has access to this information. Insider. The person who has access to the non-published price sensitive information. Access. Right. Anyone, actually, anyone who has access. That is the correct version, right? Any person who has access to the non-published price sensitive information named as an insider. Insider dealings are prohibited. Insider dealings are prohibited by the Securities and Exchange Commission Act. Right? Okay, it's prohibited. Right? It is treated as a crime. The person is guilty of insider dealings, then as the punishment can impose a fine and imprisonment as well. Right? Imprisonment also can be given to that person. Fine is 1 million, not less than 1 million. Right? This is the punishment. Fine is not less than 1 million, 1 million rupees. Right? Cannot less than 1 million. Can impose more than 1 million, not less than 1 million rupees. And imprisonment for a term, right? Not less than 2 years, 2 to 5. Not less than 2 years, not exceeding 5 years. So in this period, that person can be imprisoned. Right? That is the punishment given for the insider dealings. Right? Which is fine. Second one, with regard to the imprisonment. And the basic narrative. Galle ගාන්නේ අඩුම ලක්ෂ 10ක් 1 million. Galle පටන් ගන්නේ ලක්ෂ 10ක්. right ලක්ෂ 10ක් ගඩ ගහන්න පුළුවන්. ඉම්ප්‍රෙසිබල් ගිරේදා මොකද කරලා. දුම ගානේ 22ක් යන්නේ. Galle කියන්නේ දෙක හැබැයි කොරගෙන තමයි. Right, not less than 2 years, but not exceeding 5 years. For a term, not less than 2 years, not exceeding 5 years. That is the punishment. A serious offense. Right? It is recognized as serious offense under the Sri Lankan law. Okay. So, anyone who has access to the non-published price sensitive information, right, is treated as an insider. So, based on this information, insider trade the shares or securities, we can say, right, altogether securities, shares, debentures, or whatever it is, right? Shares and debentures mainly, right? So, insider is trading shares of the company, right? Trading. Shares and debentures, right? Trading by an insider based on non-published price sensitive information. So this is named as insider dealings. Insider dealings. What does it mean? Right? Insider means anyone who has access to non-published price sensitive information. After receiving the information, is trading, right? Securities of the company. Trading means selling or buying, right? Shares or securities of the company. Right? So this is named as insider dealing. So insider trading. Right? Now, when we consider the right inside, the term inside, I told you anyone who access. So generally we can identify right directors of the board of directors, they automatically become insiders. Right? So we have to identify who are the insiders, right? Directors. Automatically, they will become the insiders of the company. Therefore, directors cannot trade shares of the company, right? Based on non-published price sensitive information. Right? If it is published, then it's okay. Right? Until it is disclosed to the public, information is treated as non-public. So based on non-published price sensitive information, we cannot do guilty of an offense. Shall be guilty of an offense. Directors. Who is? Right? Another party, right? Ordinary shareholders. Ordinary shareholders. Right? They are treated as insiders. Because they have access to non-published price sensitive information. Ordinary shareholders means they are the real owners of the company. Real owners. Real owners of the company. They have access to the non-published price sensitive information. Right? So directors, ordinary shareholders, and officers, right? Accountant, lawyer, whatever, right? Officers of the company. Or we can say employees. Employees of the company, officers of the company. Right? They are also treated as inside. And not only that, right? They are automatically treated as inside. Right? Now suppose director of the company, he has disclosed non-published price sensitive information to his trade. Right? Suppose the trade's name is X. Right? Then X reveal it to another party called Y. Right? X and Y. They are not related to company. Not related to company. The friend of a director. X. Right? X disclosed it to Y. Then after receiving the information by Y, he has purchased or sold the shares of this company. That is trading the shares of the company. Right now, suppose the information is the well-reputed person is going to resign from the board of directors. It may be affected to the price of the shares. Then what happened? It disclosed to Y like this. Is the lead director informed me to Y. The X informed me to Y. Right? So there is the lead. Right? So after receiving the information, Y sold the shares of the company. Right? Then, now here the issue is director is automatically treated as an insider. It's okay because it's internal part. Can we treat X and Y as insiders? And Y trade the shares after receiving the information. Can we treat Y as an insider? Yes. What do you think? Yes. Piano Salakan. Why? What is the word? Any person, anyone. It may be an internal party or external party. It doesn't matter. And insider means anyone who has access. We need not to consider whether he is internal party or external. Only thing is access to the non-published price sensitive. So friend is treated as an insider. Right? if X trade the shares of this company, director, right? X is a one of friends of the director, then X is an insider because he has access to the price sensitive information. And not only that, it's disclosed to Y. Y has an access to the price sensitive information. Y is also treated as an insider. And he's guilty of that. But understood. Right. So there is the meaning of insider. Right. Any person, remember it, any person who has access to non-published price sensitive information, anyone, maybe an internal or external party, director, shareholder, right, friend of the director, or right, friend disclose it to another friend, right? Then why also treated as an insider? All are responsible for insider. Actually, the Securities and Exchange Commission Act says, Section 32, it says, the following persons are treated as insiders. Right? The first one it says, right? Persons, right, who receive information by being connected with the company. Connected with the company. By being connected with the company. Therefore, actually, we can identify director, accountant, right, promoter, right, director, shareholders, right? They are connected with the company. Therefore, they are treated as insiders, right? And the second type of persons recognized, that is information given to the person not to disclose, but to perform his duties, right? Information received by the person by being connected with the company. The second one is information is given to perform his duties, his or her duties. Right? More effective, right? And not to disclose. Right? Then he is also treated as an insider. Like information is given to a particular person to perform his duties more efficient, more effective, right? And not to disclose. Then he is an insider. And third person is also recognized. Right? There are three parties. Number 3, that is, right? It is reasonable, right? Known to the person the information is non-published price sensitive. It is reasonably known to the person. Non-published price sensitive information. Then actually external parties also responsible for the external parties also treated as the insiders. Reasonably known. Right? Reasonably known to the person, information is not published price sensitive information. Right. So actually when we consider the right first and second parties, they are internal parties. And not only that, it is not confined to internal party. The person, right? The person able to understand, right? This is non-published price-sensitive information. Then he is also treated as an insider. Like friends of the directors, shareholders. And through the friends, they can trade the shares. Therefore, all the parties covered by the section 30. Right? By being connected with the company, like directors, shareholders, being connected with the company, officers of the company, being connected with the company. Information is given for these duties more efficient to disclose. And the information is reasonably known to the person, right, as non-published price-sensitive information. Any person can reasonably understand this information is non-published price-sensitive information. Then he is treated as an insider, right? So three parties recognize. So if anyone, right, who has committed this offense, then the punishment is like a minimum of 1 million rupees fine, and imprisonment is right for a term minimum of 2 years and maximum not exceeding 5 years. So these persons are like shall be guilty of an offense of insider dealings. Right? They on conviction, those participants can be given. Right. So that is about the insider. Very important thing is, right? Remember, insider means it is not confined to internal parties. Right? Any person, any person who has access to non-published price-sensitive information, they are responsible for the insider dealings. Right? It is an offense recognized under the Securities and Exchange Commission Act. An offense, right? Any person. Right. So we have discussed about the foreign exchange act, internal and right, internal and outward investments we have discussed, right? According to table, 2 tables we have discussed inward investment and outward according to the right, inward and outward, you can according to table, you can understand inward and outward investments. Then thereafter, important act is land restriction or alienation. Right here, duty asked on the secretary to inform the foreign shareholder, percentage of the foreign shareholder in the land, register of lands in every 6 months span. In writing, must inform whether it is right less than 50% or right 50%, right? Whether it is less than or not. We must inform it to register of land, right? In every 6 months span. Right, then thereafter we have discussed about the Securities and Exchange Commission Act. Under this act, the commission is established. Commission has power to grant license to a body corporate to operate as a stock exchange. So under that authority, license is granted to Colombo Stock Exchange. Then under the Colombo Stock Exchange, another subsidiary, fully owned subsidiary incorporated. Central Depository System (CDS). Then, Commission has power to grant license to persons to act as stockbrokers. Right, so stockbrokers also, yeah. Right, Securities and Exchange Commission Act. Then there are CDS, stockbrokers, and general public. Right, so the person wants to invest in the shares in the Colombo stock exchange. In companies who are trading in the on the stock exchange, then through the broker, first he must open an account with CDS. Generally, these accounts are in electronic form, right? Then shareholder can withdraw the electronic form or convert the electronic form into paper certificate, share certificate, right? Then thereafter he can again, right, convert it into electronic form. If he wants to trade his shares again, then he can paper certificate can be converted into electronic form. So these two steps of transactions are being named as materialization and dematerialization and deposits. That is paper converted into electronic form, electronic balances. We can say electronic balance. And materialization means electronic balances converted into shares and equity. Right? And nomination also can be given. That service also provided by the CDS. And I have forgotten to mention another transaction that is named as intraday transaction. Intraday transaction means like same shares on the same day through the same broker, sell and buy or buy and sell. Intraday. Intraday transaction. Intraday transaction means, right? Right? Same share, right? On the same day. Right? Through the same broker. Same broker. Right? So we can identify same three parties. Same shares on the same day through the same broker. Buy and sell. Can they sell and buy? Sell and buy. Or buy and sell. විකුණනවා අපාව ගන්නවා එහෙම නැත්නම් ගන්නවා අපාව විකුණනවා. Right? Buy and sell or sell and buy. Same share, sell and buy. Or buy and sell. Come on, what is the granna? On the same day. Intraday transaction. Intraday transaction. Right now, suppose the shareholder, right? He buys 100 shares. 100 shares. On the same day, through the same broker, he sold all the shares. 100 shares. Right? This is one occasion. Another occasion is he bought 100 shares and sold only 90 shares. 90 shares. So this is buying and selling. Amount is equal. Here it is not equal. Purchase 100, sold only 90. Then actually CDS will provide service to the investor. The service is part of the transaction is exempt from the fee payable to, right? Security. Three parties we can identify. Fee payable to broker. Broker. CDS. Right? We have to pay the fee to CDS. Central Depository System. Right? And fee payable to Colombo Stock Exchange. Right? And fee payable to Securities and Exchange Commission. So investor has to pay fee to three parties. Right? Securities and Exchange Commission. Right? If it is an intraday transaction, fee payable to broker, stockbroker, Central Depository System, Colombo Stock Exchange, Securities and Exchange Commission. Right? So part of the transaction is exempt from fee payable to these institutions. Understood? Right? If the purchase amount and selling amount is equal, then exemption is given for the selling amount. If it is different, then exemption is given only to lower quantity, 90 shares, only for 90 shares, lower quantity. Right? This investor need not to pay commission payable to these fees payable to these institutions. Right? Part of the transaction is exempt from fee payable to these. Even put gas to give proper CDS or the CSC, Colombo Stock Exchange, commission like part of the transaction is exempt. You know, they want no exemption is given. Right? If the quantity is equal, then exemption is given to the selling quantity. If it is not equal, then the exemption is given to the lower quantity. So that is named as intraday transaction. Intraday transaction. Same shares through the same broker on the same day. Sell and buy or sell, buy and sell. That is the intraday transaction. Part of the transaction is exempt from fee payable to lease. Right? That's all. Right. Then insider dealings, we have discussed. Insider is anyone who has access to non-published price sensitive information. Right? Price sensitive information, loss and profit. Right? The company is going to merge with another company. Reputed director is going to resign. So these are price sensitive information. Price sensitive information. Unpublished price sensitive information. Then nobody can trade on information of non-published price sensitive information. It's easy of that. Right? What is the idea? Then thereafter, actually, I have uploaded another PDF file as summaries of corporate. Right? Then next day, everything color print out. Right? There are some charts there. Right? All the topics we have discussed. Right? Converted into charts. Through the charts, very easily you can understand all the concepts there. Right? But I can buy them. They say part under the we can discuss some past areas. Thereafter, on 14th day, they have already discussed about this. Okay, I hear them running back. On 14th day, we are holding open book test. Open book test. You can read companies or any note. Right? You can highlight the note, tag the note. You can do anything. And when you are writing the answers, you can refer the notes. But within given period, you must finish it. Right? So there is the open book. There is the challenge, right? You are in the open book test. And, right, then thereafter, on 15th day, can have the group presentation. Right? You can select any topic. We have discussed, I think, more than 30 topics. Then you can select one or two topics. You can present it. Right? All the members to be performed at the presentation. Yes, present. And thereafter, you can speak. Sorry. 50. That's the last thing. So we are going on 11. Right? The online person also can join with the open book. You can write the answer and You can WhatsApp or mail it to the LD, right? That was Marvin is how you told me that then I sales brother in the video. Your mother then is the session number 11. And on 14th day, open test. 15th day, sales brother is the way that just person. You can amalgamate to details and resolution. Details resolution. Topics are very like finding straight promoters, articles of association, information. Right? That's like one out of these. Right? Then it is like non-state. You can amalgamate. Like details and resolution, both are like details resolution.
Yes, not also the cases.
It is up to you. Like with the English we have present. Right? You can create it exactly examples.
What?
මගේ සීන් එක ඉවර කරන්න තිබ්බා මේ මේක ආවන
අදකට මේ පාසල් එක ගන්නද? පාසල් එක ගන්නද?
ඕ අරෝයි ඒකයි
ආත්මක නරලෝ කියනවා. මේ පිළ. දෙල්මි ලවරුගේ විදියක් මොන. මාඩුල. जो बुद्धिमान ये जो है जाओ जाएगी पूरी जो नोट गए आप बोलना बोलो वापस जाओ
අඩුවක පන්නාදේ අඩුවක ආගන්න විදිහට කොහොමද කරන්නේ චෙරු කියාසෙද සීන් එක ගන්න සිම්හාන් ඉන්නේ මේ හලෝ ඉතින් ඉක්මනට
කදේ නම ඉතින් फोन நல்ல போன் இல்லையா யாரு इतने एडिट नो लिखी है ये फिर फोन ऑन करती पागल है नुबल पुது फोन ऑन करती अरे नुबल पुது फोन ऑन करती है पुது फोन बंद किया था ये नहीं बंद किया वो मोबाइल करते तो पाले देखो जाम पड़े फुल प्रोडक्शन माल
या पड़ा स्टेटस प्रश्न देनो मायो
सेट ಅವನು ಫುಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಬಾ ಬೇಗ ಆ ಬೇಗ
अटेंडेंस तमाम තියෙන්නේ
ಫೋಟೋ ಫೋಟೋ
ඒ තමයි දාගන්න chance එකක් නැද්ද කවුරුරි පුළුවන්ද හෙලෝ
උඹට පඩි අදේවල එක්සෑම් පඩි
මේ නැතර චොල්ලා
මොනහවුඩා
යාද කාලකද
කාගෙද ෆ්‍රී
ඉල ඉස්සන්න sorry படிக்க போகுது
එයාලා ඇවිල්ලාද
சாப்பிடணும்
இன்னும் சாப்பிடல
சாப்பிடுங்க
என்ன சாப்பிடுங்க
අපි අර සීල් එක ගන්න පොඩි කොයි නවල් පුලක් යාර එක්ස්ප්ලেইন දැන් මෙහෙමයි ඉන්නේ දැන් ඔයාලා පාර කියන කස්ටමර් දැන් මොකද කියලා පොයින්ට් පිටිකදී ඕඩර්ස් ටික අරගෙන ඒක පිටිකේ ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙ ඩිලිවරයිසර් ස්කෝල් එකේ වට එනවා ස්කෝල් එක ගන්නවා ඔයා පස්සේ ඕනේ කරගෙන සිනවා කරනවා ඉතින් කියන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් ඔයා සිනවා කපියු ෆෝන් එක රෝ මෙසේජ් දෙන්න කියනවා හරි තුමා නයිස් ඒක ෆෝන්ලා සිම්පස්ලි මට ඒක ආයෙ අප්සි ඒක
Muli pala ke mana base? Oh no. Because apa sih mau dia tuh deh? Join bener, udah body ini. Nana customer. Ingat dah. Singkat aja dia lah. Orang mana mana ini lah. Itu yo.
Cara paling nak kerana ni, Hari wagi scene ni kenapa? Wagi scene ni kan ada. Ini hari kapan ni? Ada location. Yeah, පිනාවිට ෆෝන් එක දීලා ගියාද? ඔයා ගත්තේ ඒ ආවිලා අර අතේ තියන්න. යාමිකද මොන්දේ ෆෝන් එක. අලුතෙන් කරන්නේ කියලා දිනන හෙට සමාදලක් වෙන්නේ නේ. කොහොමද ඉතින් අපි දැනගන්න දෙයක් කරලා තුනක් ඉවරයි. මේ කමියක් ගන්න කමිටි දෙකක් මම තමයි කමිටි දෙකක් ඉවර කරන්නේ. Hai, non si è parlato della serie, allora mai mi c'è sempre da la città e il mondo di Magnetti. Questo facendo un tempo di fare questo bene. Allora, nel film che volevo dire è questo. E vero? Che no, è tanto, non mi dai un video. Il bella piano come non dato දැන් ඉදුරේ මෙයාලා හලෝ වැඩින් කෑලි ඇඩ් කරන්න ප්ලීස් කොහොමද දෙන්න ඇස්සෙනවා කියලා ස්ක්‍රිප්ට් එකකට කරනවා කියන මොක හද ඩයලොග්ස් වස් කරගෙන කරන්න ඕනේ දෙයකට ෂූට් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ ඔව් අපි ගමන් ගිහින් ගමු අපි ඒක වෙනම කෑදලා ඒක වෙනම ඒකේ ඔයාලි මගේ එකක් තියෙනවා සෙනුගේ එකක් මගේ එක එකට යන සීන් එකක් තියෙනවා ලාස්ට් සීන් මම හෙට අන්තිම සීන් එක විතරක් නම් ඒක අර සීන් තුනක් ඉවර කරගන්න ඊට නාවුත් එක කලින් Allora, uccidono il beba, e le dico, abbiamo dovuto che India dapat यार फल्ले हम लोग तो इधर देखिए ताकि ना ज़ाहिर करने जैसे तो नहीं मैं हम लोग तो सेलोकी है ना वाले ये सर अभी से बात कर रहा ना बैठ में पीछे टिक कर रहा है और ये नहीं तेरे ना लोग भी रेट शाम बड़े कोटी देर बाद सवाल नहीं ඒ අරගොල්ලෝ පල්ලෙහාට ගියා රිස්කාන්ගේ සීන් එක කරනවා කියලා. ඔයාලා දැක්කද? නෑ නෑ. අනේ මම දානේ අපි තාම ගිහින් අපි කට්ටිය ගමු අර මෙයාට කියලා. පොඩි දෙයක් ගමු. හරි. ඒක මේ වීඩියෝ කරන කවුද සීහාන් එක බලන්න. ඔයා ඒක දැන් හදාගන්න. හරි දෙයක් ඉස්සර. එතකොට සීන් ගොඩක් ඉවරයි අපිට හම්බෙන්නේ. aroma vegan. Adesso la simhanica te la aroma che oh che però avete io vorrei dire restaurant
මානවක ළඟ බෑටරි මාර්ගය කරනවා කලින්ම ඒක මේකනේ එයා තමයි එයා ඉන්නේ මොකද ෆෝන් අවශ්‍යද එයා මේක පස්සේ පීටි ගන්න තියෙන්නේ
No, I can't pay. No, discount is no now. Where are you seeing it? When am I on the
scene energy
Don't be shy, bro.
customer call பண்ணி burger king
Where are you getting or where are you calling us? This is Mufti, come. We need your help. Hey, where are you at? මෙයාගේ සීන් එක මෙයාගේ ටෙස්ට් දැන් නෝ නේද? ඔයගේ කරේ සීන් මාකේ. කොහොමද? මේ අපිට මේ සීන් මාකේ. Why this is a simple initially clear date. Yeah, that will maybe it's not getting No, I can get the video. Are you seeing her? Seen also the same guy. Seen it and where am I accident? It was there. But then burger. Yeah, the restaurant. Wait, the cashier. Yeah. Wait. Sama phone lega ganne. ஒரு அதோட செயின் கண்டிப்பா அத ஒவ்வொரு பர்கருக்கும் per delivery per burger charge ஆகும் அவ்வளவுதான் How may I assist you? How may I assist you? Hello. Okay. 1, 2. Start. Okay. Side. Yeah. No. And hello. This is Roma. How may I help you? Okay. 1, 2. May I
Hello, this is the Galle Arora. Hello, this is my Galle Arora. And can I help you?
Hello, this is how can I do more? That's it.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, this is me. This is my. This is the aroma. Can I help you?
How can I help you? I will do that. Okay.
Hello, this is.
I can do here. I can do.
Hello, this is the aroma. Can I help you?
How can I help you?
I do.
Last.
This is Kaviarama.
Yada Mantana.
How can I help you?
Hello, this is the aroma. How can I help you?
இதுக்கு முதல் சென்றதை கேட்பேன் கட் பண்ணி போட்டு அது இங்க பழைய வினோத இல்லையா இல்லையா பழைய
And this is the day of
Colombo.
how can I just say
Because something is in.
Right.
Ajahn,
I didn't know that.
ഒരു വലിയ First restriction and burger is 2005, right? Which is seen outside. Delivery for per burger is 100.
ഇവർ കടയിലല്ല സ്വന്തം നമുക്ക് കൂടുതൽ നമ്പർ
Per restriction burger is 2005, right? Which is 300. അഭിരാമി പ്രൈസ് ഒക്കെ അവിടെ പ്രൈസ് മിസ്റ്റേക്കിന് അത് ഭർത്താവിന് അപ്പൊ
Cheese like the 2,000 fancy again, ready.
ഞാൻ ഡെലിവറി ഫ്രീ വാങ്ങി
Delivery that you know, ready.
ഡെലിവറി ഫ്രീ ചാർജസ് വാങ്ങി
Oh, delivery charges
അഭിരാമി ഡെലിവറി
customer strategy coming
delivery charge for per worker is rupees.
Oh, that means Mexican one crispy chicken burger is one crispy chicken burger is 2,500 rupees. Which is 3,000. And it can be charged delivery charge for per burger 100. Okay, single. Okay, then what can I try? Last week, ma'am, our crispy chicken burger is 2,500 rupees, which is 3,000. And delivery charge per one burger is 100 rupees.
order for one burger.
For one burger, the take a seat.
Pongali.
More.
Oh, it will cause people to give. Timur, I can name over there. చిన్న చెప్పుంటా ఉండ బ్రోషర్ చెప్పు ఎంత బేక్ ఇదా అది పేద మహిళ
Delivery charge.
Wait, Sanisha, topic. Topic so I come in. In the work, another word. Can I sit good?
Delivery for burger.
ഇരുന്നൂറ് കാശ് ഇല്ലടാ
Delivery for per burger 100. Last week.
Delivery for.
ശരി ഇരുന്നൂറ് കാശ് ഇല്ല 100 രൂപ ഇല്ല அவன் crispy chicken burger. Okay. டேய் நீ கூட யோசிக்குது டேய் நாய பர்கர் 200 ரூபா டெலிவரி இப்படி இல்ல பர்கர் 200 டெலிவரி 100 அப்படின்னு சொல்லி எல்லாம் வாங்க
200 100 சாவடிச்சிரேன் முடி இருக்கவன்
delivery charge burger okay are you ready how is it here last
cheese 3000
எதுவுமே இந்த கஷ்டம்
our delivery charge burger
பணம் இருக்கே இவனுக்கு
okay perfect அழுது
ஆமா அழுது பாருங்க அவங்க
ஐயோ முவா முவா
எதுக்கு நடுவில் போச்சு
ஐயோ சுத்தகிறான் தேவா ஏய் ரெண்டோ வா ரெண்டோ அடக்னே
Our crispy chicken burger 2,900, big cheese 3,000, our burger
சாரி மாம்
yeah delivery charge burger 100
Burger delivery charges. Small delivery charges.
அந்த பட்ஜெட் ரெட்டா ஷேமே கிடையாது ஆமா
delivery charge per burger 100 rupees. Delivery charge per burger 100 rupees. நான் சொல்லுங்க நான் சொல்லுங்க டெலிவரி 100 ரூபா burger 100 ரூபா டோட்டல் 100 ரூபா our crispy chicken with cheese our crispy
go this our group abhi
I actually
crispy chicken burger 2,000, with cheese 3,000, per burger delivery charges 100 rupees.
banner to see ami reaction na thone
oh it's for the election la win option එක.
දැන් කාර්ය ඩ්‍රෙස් කියලා දෙන්න.
ඒක තමයි ආකට நான் எப்படி ஏசி வரணும் சொல்றாங்க இந்த மாதிரி வெரி சீப்பரா ஒப்பேல தெரியுமா
ඔයා මේ ෆෝන් එක අරගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියන අපි ඩිලිවර් කරේ මේ කම්පියුටර් එකයි. ඔව් නේ මේක කරගන්න. අර කස්ටමර් Deliver boy. Reaction එයා අපි ඩිලිවර් බෝයි එකේ කම්ප්ලීට් එකේ ඕඩර් එකක් ගත්තා. ඒක යාට තනියම ගන්න පුළුවන්. තනි සීන් එකක් වීඩියෝ. අක්කනේ අක්කා ඉන්නවා. නැත්නම් හිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. දැන් මෙයාලගේ එක මේක ලොකු කට්ටිය ඉන්න සීන් ඩිලිවර් බෝයි ඔයා බෑග් එක දාලා කැප් එක ගන්නවා.
ඕවර් මෙතන
අර මේ මල්ල ගන්න. කැප් එක මොකද? බෑග් එක දාලා. ඔයාද? කියන්න තියෙනවා. පොඩි දෙයක් නැහැ. පොඩි සිංහලෙන් මට කියන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් වෙනාල යනවා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලට. චෙලෝකි පාර්සල් එක මෙයා ඊට බෝය වෙන්න ඒක පෙන්නනවා පොඩි. ඊට පස්සේ පාර්සල් මෙයා අරගෙන යනකොට තමයි අපි බොරොන් ගන්න ඉතල මට කතා කරන්නේ. හරිද කතා කරලා මෙයා පිටිදෙක කඩේට මම ගන්න අපිට පටින්න කස්ටමර් කතාවට මෙයාගේ සීන් එක මොකද?
එයාට අර බිඳුනේ සීන් එක මෙයාට දෙන්නද වෙයි? සීන් එක ගන්න.
ඒක කම්ප්ලීට්. ඒක කොතනද තරයි? ඒක කොතනද අර අපි වාඩි වෙලා කැෆේ එකේ හරි මෙතන හරි ගමු.
සුවර් වයිට් බයි. ඒක තමයි පස්සේ අපිට දැසන්නේ.
ඒ කම්ෆර්ට්
මේ චැනල්
ඒ විනුනේ සීන් එකට.
දැන් මම කියන්නේ ඉස්සරම කරගන්න.
ඔයා මෙයාගේ කසින් එක ටොයිලට් සීන් එක
එහෙම කියන්න එපා.
ඒක මෙයාගේ සීන් එක ටොයිලට්. ඒ අර දෙන්නේ දන්නවා.
ස්කූල් බෑග් එකක් දාගන්න. කාගේ බෑග් එක?
මගේ මගේ.
ඒක ගන්න.
ඒක ගන්න ඕනේ එකක් ගන්න.
ඒක සෝදේට මම අහනවා.
අපි dance scene එක තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් try to do again එනවා. Influence hey guys. මේ දේ right. අර scene එක
ඔකේ ඒක හරි.
මගේ scene එක don't walk guys run කියලා නිකන් ආතල් එකේ කියනවා අපේ වන්දි run කියලා කියන්නේ ඉනිවර වයිද වෙනකට ඕල්ඩර් ගන්නවා කලබලේ මට ගහලා what කියත් මෙයා මට ගාලා දුවගෙන වාගේ කියලා ඔය කියන පැටලෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඒක තමයි සීන් එක අපි අරන් එකේ ඒ සීන් එකේ ඔර්ඩිනරි channel ඔයාලා නෑ එච්චරයි ඇති අපිට දිලවල අයිඩෙන්ටි ටක් තව සීන් එකක් තියෙනවා ඔයාලා තියෙන අර
මුලින් යනවා
ඔයාලා ගාවනේ මගේ බෑග් එක ඒක තියෙනවද
අනේ අද ඉතින් අභිරාමි යා
ඔයාගේ කැප් එක
ගෙප්පෙන්න ඕන Kuman, nanti para que no le pase motivar el diva. Nanti canda dulu deh. Deh. Oh, ini itu deh. Dokter.
குளிப்போம்.
இது வந்தது இதே அதை முன்கா அது எந்த ரிப்போர்ட் அவன் செவத்துக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சு கொடுக்கிறேன் ரத்தம் போகுதான் தண்ணி நீ வேற கொஞ்சம் குடிக்கிறீங்க எங்க ஸ்டார்ட் இல்லடா மரக பிடிக்க வெக்கமையா ஆட்கள் பிடிக்கணும் அந்த மூணு சேனல்
அவனுக்கு இல்லாத மொத்தம் எல்லாத்துக்கும் சொல்லி கூட அவ்வளவு então uma coisa de você பாட்டு ஏதாவது போடு. சரி மேல ஒண்ணே சோ மேஜி ஓடனோவா இது அம்மால சரி
Area.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Quite very good. But then have you been here? You don't what?
Snoop Dogg.
Hello. Monica. Monica.
The whole world can be a party. At Nestle, every day we look at simple striving to do to make the world rich and meaningful and fulfilling. To provide the best of that, to make that community strong.